AM 970 WSTX.
Well, today we've got the Hound and Foxes track club in here, and I know that we've got Mr. Golphin in the house, and in a minute we're going to have him come on in here, track shoes and all. I see he got his stop put down there on the track, getting ready to push off and run on in here and win the race. But I think he got somebody in there that's going to give him a run for the money, though. I see him got somebody else out there to compete and give him a great run for the money. Okay? Now, we've got a little treat going on here because we've got an athlete accompanying him who has his own online video blog. So we're going to hear all about that and how we can set up in here so that we can see what's going on live as he does his video blog. So the camera is in place. He's in the chair. I hear the engine starting to whine like it's getting ready to get going so we could take off of this runway and be flying. Where you want to put it? You tell me where, and we set you up and get you going. Okay? All right. Mr. Golphin.
Morning.
Good morning to you.
Can you hear me? Greetings. Testing. 1, 2, testing.
All right. You're good and on live. Talk to me.
Yes, we say live and direct. I mean live and direct. Blessings, greetings to the Virgin Islands, to the public, to the community, to the powers that be. It's Hounds and Foxes Track Club. Charles Golphin, President, CEO, Head Coach. Blessings on this holiday weekend. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves at the beach with their families, with their loved ones. And like I said, we're here live and direct. We just come and talking about the Hounds and Foxes Track Club. We recently just returned from Coupe track meet in Puerto Rico. It was an excellent outing. The athletes represented the schools at this particular meet. The schools that were represented were Lumuckle, Church of God. We had CJM or CMJ. I always mix that up. That's a home school. We had Free Will Baptist, and we had Arthur Richards Junior High. And we went with about 7 or 8 athletes, and as I said, they did quite well. We had our reigning champion. She got the MVP, Miss Tiana Lake. She goes to Arthur Richards. She won the long jump. She came second in the 60-meter hurdles. And so she was the female 12 to 13-year-old MVP. So we give thanks for that. She's trained pretty hard. She's been with me for a couple of years and did a fantastic job over there. We also had her brother, which is Tyrone Lake. He won a gold medal in the long jump, and he also got a bronze medal in the 60 meters. He was representing, I forgot, Alexander Henderson Elementary School. That's where he goes to school at. So he was representing them. Also, the little sister, Tassan Lake. She, let me get the correct name of this school. She's in a private school. And CJM, Independent Learning Tutorial Services, CJM. That's what she represented. She got a silver medal in the baseball throw. Also on the trip, we had Cadence Romero. She represented Lumuckle. We had Caden John, Tyrese Hiles, Mr. Maddox, and Miss Mahalia. They represented Church of God. We had, as I said before, Tiana Lake representing, we have actually two Tiana Lakes. Tiana Stanley Lake represented Free Will Baptist, and Tiana Lake represented Arthur Richards.
Right.
So we had quite a good outing, and they participating in, if you've heard, not only track events but also field events such as hurdles and long jump, which we don't really participate in around here in the Virgin Islands, but we still train for it, and they did quite well. They've also won medals in long jump in New York at indoor meets, which I mentioned before. So again, we try to cover the basis, the explosive sprints, jumps, and throws. Tiana, also in Trinidad, the one in Arthur Richards, she got a silver medal last summer in the baseball throw, which is a CAC event, CAC Youth Games. So, we're training, we're developing. The key word is development, not where they are today, but where they're going to be tomorrow and, after that in the future.
All right, fantastic. I tell them all the time, you give our young people the resources, they will perform. That's what we have to do, is get the resources together so that they can perform.
Even when the resources aren't there, we can't wait. we can't wait on government. The children are getting bigger.
We're not even talking about government. We're not even talking about government.
I can't wait. I'm just saying on whoever. Sometimes we can't wait on the resources. We have to improvise.
Right.
And that's what a lot of coaches, not only myself, but a lot of coaches down here do.
I'm right there with you. I was going somewhere with that. Okay, and we get them the resources, they're going to perform. If ands or buts about that. But as you said, quite clearly, they're ready to go. Okay, so if we don't hold up, they're gonna go without us. That's the way.
What we need more help with. We need more help with them in the educational fields. We need to prepare them for college. They need to be SAT, ACT prepared. That's what we need. We need forget the GPA. We're talking about the core GPA. They're not taking basket weaving and PE. They want to know math, science, English, foreign language. That's what they're looking for when you're talking about college preparatory. If you're talking about whether it's junior college, the highest level, or in between, that's what we're talking about, college prep.
Okay. Well, I know that when you were driving in and listening to the Reflections program, one of the things you might have heard me doing was talking about events going on in the community. And I know that in the case of one athlete in my house, that they get a piece of paper sometimes with information about what's going on in the world of sports. But sometimes in the world of track and field, but sometimes that doesn't get to me. But what I want to ask you and every coach out there, whenever we're having any type of events here, definitely if you get us the word, we're going to make sure that we start pounding the ground to get the word out to folks. And I say that, at the track meet that we had at the complex the other day, I was there, and for the most part, you had the athletes and parents and coaches. And there's a whole world of people out there that will support track and field if they know that it's going on. And in my case, it just so happened that this last minute notice that I got from this young man that he got track and field going on, we ran home, got his equipment and everything else, packed up a bag with some snacks and water, and we turned right around and came down the road to the track meet that was going on. Unfortunately, he did get to run 2 times, and our young people enjoy this stuff. I mean, he was talking about that. Every time he sees someone, he yells, "Yes, I was racing and I came in number this and that." And da-da-da-da-da. They don't have to win. They don't have to be second or third. They're just happy to be involved. And so parents, we've got to do all we can to definitely give our young people the exposure. And I'm going to say this. I have this young man in my house. He didn't just walk up to me and say, "I want to do track and field." What happened was that we went to a meet, and he was so intrigued by what he saw going on, and already, not to mention the fact that he just liked to run. Don't run in the house. Slow down. So I said to myself, maybe I need to rethink this thing. Instead of telling him don't run and slow down, I need to get him someplace where he could run.
Sound like the Michael Jordan syndrome. Stop jumping all over the couch. That's what they were telling Michael Jordan, jumping all around like a jackrabbit.
Yeah, yeah.
Got to put that energy to good use, and that's all that we ask for the track club.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I see you got your biggest fan here with you.
Yeah, daddy. That is our biggest thing that we tell parents. Your child, especially at a young age, doesn't have to be the fastest person around. Everybody thinks that in the club we're looking for the fastest people. That's not necessarily true. We're looking for children with a lot of energy and are willing to follow the program, and parents that can get them to practice. You know, those are the three most important thing, you know, along with the regular things, eating, drinking, sleeping, manners, and so forth. But the main thing is that the children have a lot of energy, because once they have a lot of energy, we will provide the instruction where they will develop. Again, the key word being develop. It's not where they are today, it's where they're going to be 5 years from now.
And you say that, I think of two things. One, character development and discipline. Two things that they're going to need as part of how they're going to present themselves in the future. Character development in terms of making sure that they understand that, hey, falling means you get up and keep moving. Okay, coming in third means that next time you shoot for second or first, you know, and coming in first means that next time you're looking at setting a new record, you know. Once we train them and give them the example of shooting for higher heights, we're on the right track. Okay. Now, Mr. Golphin, you have, in addition to your #1 fan, I see that we have an athlete here that I want to know more about what he's doing and why he's here with you.
You're talking about Mr. Leon Hunt, a.k.a. Bookie, long jumper extraordinaire. I actually did a lot of events when we first met each other. He was at Virginia State, and he was doing a plethora of events. I mean, he was doing everything but pole vault, which would have made him a decathlete, you know. And he really hadn't found his niche, and we worked with him, and he worked with us. And right now, he's pretty much a sprinter, long jumper, you know. And we tried to get him at University of Illinois when I was there. He came in for a visit. We left there, and he ended up going to Florida A&M and made nationals, and he has continued to develop, and he's got his degree, working on his master's. You got your master's? Finished his master's. Sorry, I'm behind the curve.
You take charge of it.
Finished his master's, and you know, working on his own company, and breaking out there in the financial world. You know, when we talk about training athletes, we're talking about physical, mental, spiritual, nutritional, psychological, and once they leave the umbrella of the college campus, then it's financial. You know, they have to be able to support themselves while they continue their endeavors, whether they're athletically or their educational, which they've gotten their degrees in. So he's working on both while trying to still prepare for the Olympics. So I'm going to let him tell you the rest, but he's someone that we got later on in the club. Usually we develop our own, and he's someone that's come in, and he's been a plus to the club. He's actually working with the Olympic Committee and the Track and Field Federation with logistics. He's been up to Cornell with Adrian. He's coached some high school coaching. You know, I mean, really, Adrian Durant and Leon Hunt, for two young men, they've really done a lot in a short amount of time, and we appreciate them giving back also to the Virgin Islands. So without any further ado, Mr. Leon Hunt.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show on Reflections, and also here representing Hounds and Foxes Track Club, and of course the Virgin Island Track and Field Federation, along with the Olympic Committee, and of course myself, Leon Hunt, Ras Bookie. You know, so yeah, thanks, man. Man, that sounds like a lot of stuff. That was
you didn't
amazing.
realize that we got to read it once.
Yeah.
I couldn't even remember it all.
What? You were too busy doing it.
I was like,
you know,
man,
that's right.
shoes, has it been that long? Ah, man. But yeah, man, I'm still an active track and field jumper and sprinter. for the Virgin Islands, actually up now to 26 feet. Working on the Olympics, this Rio 2016 coming up now. And also have a YouTube vlog channel, which is my new thing, which is also the business that Mr. Golphin was talking about just now, and which is actually doing really good. A lot of people don't know about YouTube on this particular type of side, but yes, I'm a vlogger, and pretty much my daily routine of life of what goes on between an athlete and just the real world. And it's amazing because I travel so much and eat so much different types of food. I mean, why keep that stuff to myself, you know? Share it with the world, you know?
Well, the first thing you need to do is tell our audience how they can follow your blog.
Okay, so it's really, really simple. The first thing you have to do is go online to YouTube, right? Type in Ras Bookie, RasBookie. Come down and hit subscribe. Once you hit subscribe, you see the whole show. I think I'm up now to 20-something shows. And that's it. You go down there to YouTube, you type in Ras Bookie, and then you hit subscribe, and then you get to welcome to the show. You know, the show varies from something I did this morning to something I did late at night, my training, what goes on, how to cook, recovery, traveling, everything, the whole 9 yards. That's how we do for sure. And it's amazing. And now since I'm back on St. Croix, I'm here now for 2 weeks, helping around with Hounds and Foxes Track Club or any other clubs that happen to be out there at Complex. So y'all come out there, y'all get some tips and advice about training, and that'd be great, you know.
All right, folks, you see me here holding the camera because I'm helping out the cause to make sure that he gets his footage in place for this escapade here today. All right, but I want to welcome you, and let's talk a little about the education journey that you did. Okay.
Yes.
So from the beginning.
All right. So
before junior high, even if you got all of that, just to give people a little bit the journey.
So let me see. All right. So we started out at Lumoko, right? Started at Lumoko, and then in the mix of time transitioning from middle school to high school, I actually moved to the States. The idea of moving to the States was it was easier for me to attend to college, right? So in the mix of middle school to high school, I did go to Virginia. I started on Norfolk, Virginia, and I graduated in 2006 from Norview High School. From that point, I didn't think I was going to go to college for running any type of sports. I just thought I was just going to get a regular job, you know, help out with the family. But instead, at that 2006, I also ran track for the school, Norview High School, and I placed second at nationals doing triple jump. So when I was there, a college came over, was like, "Hey man, you interested in going to college?" I was like, "Sure." So he was like, "Well, I'll give you a scholarship if you come to Virginia State." And at that moment there, everything just went to the other side. Everything just was like, "Oh, I can actually have a chance to go to college now. Okay, let's see what it's all about." So I went to Virginia State for 2.5 years, and things there was good, but I wanted more. So Virginia State was Division II. I wanted to go Division I. I wanted to run against the big boys. So then I tried out, like as Coach Golphin said, tried to go to Illinois. That didn't turn out well, so then I went down to Florida A&M, which is also a Division I school. Shout out to the Rattlers at FAMU, yeah. So I was down there, and it was pretty shaky at that moment of transitioning from one university to the next. My training there was, we actually trained on YouTube. We started out, me and Coach Golphin trained on YouTube. He was back home in St. Croix. I was recording and using via emails and phone calls during practice, trying to coach, because when I went to Virginia State, the coach there, the coach that was supposed to be there, didn't get the job at the time, right? So I didn't have a jump coach. So my coach was like, "Well, you can either talk to your national coach," and I was like, "Cool." So we made it work. We just pretty much record videos, talk on the phone, discuss everything, and that's how we did our training for a whole year and a half, right? Finished up Virginia State at 2011, and then during that time we won it. I think it was World University Games in Shenzhen, China. So we, that was one of my first biggest international meet, So I went out there, did my thing, and then I was like, wait, I'm so used to doing educational stuff. I want to go more again. Yeah, I always want more. So then I went on and started my master's for Strayer University because I wanted to go online because I was doing so much stuff in life that it just couldn't be in class, you know. So I had to be on the move. And so I started off at Strayer University, finished out, of course, 2 years after, and just what was that? 2014? Yeah, 2000. The winter of 2014, graduated, and now I'm thinking about going to get my doctorate's degree, which is great, you know. So I was like, why not go? I'm still young. Why not go knock it out? I got a little knowledge here, no. So I was like, I'm looking into that after Olympics, which is this summer. So sometime this fall, you might see me someplace in some way doctorate program, and that would be amazing. So yeah, so that's the educational background and I.
All right. Well, I just wanted you to go over that because some young person is out there, some parent is out there, and I want them to understand that sports is a business, sports is a vocation, sports is a discipline, all right, and sports is education.
Definitely.
All right, from anywhere from being a training coach to the athlete themselves, coaching is a very integral part of what you do, and you have sports medicine. You have all these different aspects of sports. So we just
psychology.
have psychology. We
Management.
have to broaden our minds.
Financial advisors. I was just telling them at Church of God the other day, if you can't be an athlete, you know you may get so far, but you can help athletes invest their money. A lot of athletes, a lot of stars or actors or movie have lost their money over the years. So again, you can help them invest. I think Tim Duncan just sued somebody. Again, these people are supposed to know what they're doing, and you know you can't watch them every second, but you're looking at making investments on your money so that your money can work for you. So there's all kind of offshoots and offsets for people to stay into. You see, when all the athletes, a lot of them retire, you see them on TV doing broadcasting, they're doing radio, they're doing college, they're doing high school, they're doing professional. So there's a lot of room out there. There's ESPN, which is blown up. They got other stations, Fox, you know, radio like yourself, and so forth. So.
Well, this is part of what we want folks to understand, because you know, generations before us, they couldn't make the connection. It's just like someone see the young man as an artist and say, hey, you better put away that stuff. You ain't going to make no money doing that. Well, art doesn't involve only painting and drawing. It goes all the way up to industrial buildings.
It goes all the way up to, one of my students came back, he was illustrating comic books. He was making very good money.
Very good money.
Very good
Very
money
good
working
money.
in New York illustrating comic
Exactly.
books.
So we have to broaden our minds on how we look at this at things. And in this case, the subject is sports, track and field, coaching, and we have to be the ones who are going to set the standard down the road, not close off competition and excellence because we just happen to have a wrong idea about what it's really all about. So when I see you going from Lumoko all the way up to your master's and now pursuing your doctorate, we're sending a message.
Definitely.
We're sending a message, and I wanted to make sure that that message came through loud and clear. Sports, among other things, is education. It is money. It is professionalism. It is a vocation.
Definitely, because with the help of sports, I mean, I don't know how you could pay for school. I mean, school costs a lot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So sports did help me pay for school and keep on going. And even from that, I mean, that was a blessing, you know? But definitely, education is the key to success, so why not?
All right. And you know, Coach, you out there with those young people, you see the look on their faces when the slightest achievement that they make.
And the parents, I've seen it on your face.
Of
So the
course.
parents, you know, the parents are proud. Sometimes they get a little bit too excited, and we have to calm down
Calm
the
down
parents.
the
But
parents,
again, that's
you know.
their children, and they're very excited to see them achieve and excel, you know, and it's great. We have some really great parents in the club. We had Mr. T. Henderson that started the club, the founding father. He's now in Chicago. He's starting a branch up there, so we'll have a branch starting up there this summer. of course, my wife, the mother of my child, Miss Trudy Golphin, is the main backbone behind the club and the paperwork and getting all these things. And she set up this radio interview. And also I have an assistant coach, Miss Kim Stanley, that has just been a tremendous help with the athletes and with the training. So we definitely like to thank those people. Want to throw out a little bit of kudos to Attorney Holt. He always answers the challenge, no matter how big or small the need is. So we definitely like to thank him for his years of service. Senator Gittins and Senator Francis, those are two senators that have been backing us for a couple of years now. Right now, we like to thank them. Like to thank Interscholastic for their help. They've been just can't say how much that their enthusiasm has helped us. We got Diamond Pharmacy, H&H Tire, big supporter of sports in general in the community. So I just want to throw a couple of those out while I had a minute, and also the general community, the public. When we go out there and we have these little water sales, we got a water sale coming up. We have donation sheets for the travel. We have a walkathon coming up on May 28th. We're working on a raffle. You know, so we're thankful for the community when they come out and support us. They've supported us at the Agriculture and Food Fair when we've had booths. Anytime we've had food sales, we've just been asked to help with the Battle of the Government Agencies. We did the running portion for them last year, and we just asked to do that again. That's going to be on April 9th. So, you know, we help other entities. And it's a community-minded club. You know, we will help. We help when my student had the children going to Africa from Central High, we help them with their fundraisers. So we're also willing to help other entities that we see out there because we're all in the same boat with the young people, trying to provide things for them to do. And that's my biggest thing that I ask the parents: get them involved in something. Spelling bee, math counts, athletics, chess club, FBLA, the Rocket Club. I hear of all these different entities at all these different schools, and the children run around talking about they're bored. Get them involved in something: sewing, dance, anything. As long as, you know, the energy and it's positive, and you got adults running the thing correctly. Get them involved.
Hey, folks, I want to say, I don't care how much you don't think it easy. Sometimes you think your schedule too tight. You got to do what you got to do. These are your children. And, yes. and you just got to do what you got to do. And I tell you, it's like, so after school, then there's piano. And the next day after school, then there's King Derby. Then the next day after school, then there's track. Then the next day after school, you know, and it's like, I'm saying, okay, I have to tell people that you wanna do something with me? Check me out after I drop off at school and before 3 o'clock, because after that, my day is booked. I have a corporate schedule every day. But we've got to do, as parents, what we've got to do as a matter of commitment to our young people. Okay? So it's just that simple. You don't have a choice about it. You've got to do what you've got to do. Okay?
Real quick, our next actual competitions will be on the 29th of April. We have the children's race in Christiansted. That starts jump up, and that'll be 520 meters. That's April 29th. So that's a triathlon weekend. On the 30th, we're going to try to fly over the next day for the Carnival Mile in St. Thomas. I like going to that meet because they actually give trophies. So that's first, second, and third place, you get trophies. We have May 6th and 7th, that should be a Friday and Saturday. We'll be competing in BVI at the BVI Youth Championships. That will be 14 and under. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot Miss Paige Cumby. Miss Paige Cumby didn't come to Puerto Rico with us. She went to the BVI Junior meet a couple weeks ago, where she did quite well. She ran the 1 and the 2. She's in junior high. She was 14, so she was too old for that meet. So she went to BVI. I want to mention her, Paige Cumby, Miss Cumby, the Cumby family. Got a lot of compliments about how she performed in Tortola. And again, she's coming up in development, so we're looking for her in the next 2 or 3 years to really blossom. Like I said, BVI will be back there again May 6th and 7th, 14 and under. And on 10th, 11th, and 12th, we'll be competing in the 41st Northwest Track and Field Classic. That will be at Miramar in Florida. So that's our competition schedule for the rest of the year.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. So I'm gonna be talking about that that children's race that's coming up on the 29th for.
Right. That will be jump up. It usually opens up a jump up. Right after the
Okay.
race comes through the street, then jump up officially starts.
All right. Fantastic. And
One more thing, Mr. Cruz down there, Sports Parks and Recreation. I'd like to thank them. They've been very helpful, especially with the new administration. Him coming in, he's taken up the mantra, and he's been very helpful with money and equipment. So we really appreciate what Sports Parks and Recreation has been doing. They had an award at Government House. It's the first time that they brought athletes from all different sports, and the thing about it, they were young. You know, usually we wait till they're already college stars or professional, but they actually had something for elementary children, and
Fantastic.
I thought that was fantastic, being able to dress up, come with your parents, eat some food, and be acknowledged by the government, get certificates and so forth, and that ran on the
Fantastic.
Government Access Channel. So Hounds and Parks have been trying to do, I hear Inner Island, between Interscholastic and Hounds and Parks, they're trying to get Inner Island back, you know. So there's a lot of adults out there really pushing forth and putting their money where their mouth is and trying to provide opportunities for our young people.
all right. Well, I'm looking forward to following more what's going on, and particularly interested in BVI. I haven't been there in a while. Maybe I could make that trip too. We'll see what
Yeah, they just got their track resurfaced, as a matter of fact. So.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I want to come back to that.
Oh, we.
See, now you gonna start me up. We were getting close to the ending hour here, and you gonna start me up. Folks, we need to start blowing the conch shell, doing whatever we need to do to talk about our running facilities here on St. Croix. Okay? All right? We got a track.
Tracks.
Okay.
Hold on, let me start.
Okay.
We have a track at Arthur Richards, which is Housing, Parks, and Recreation. There's a track down there. There's a track at Clado Marco, which they put a head start back there, so I don't know how much that track has been affected because they have Turkey Run there almost every year. They have a track at Vialco, Martin Marietta, next to Diageo. They have a track at Central. They have a track at Complex. I have a schematic for a track at Alfredo Andrews, which has a lot of land out there, and I also have a schematic for anybody that wants to help donate some money or time for Alfredo Andrews or Pearl B. Larson. I have schematics for both of those tracks. We need money and or donation of equipment.
Okay. Let me just throw this out to you, right? If you can, yourself and any other interested coaches, let's go and take a tour of some of these tracks on the condition and document it on video, and let's follow up from there.
I have no problem doing that.
Okay, because we need both good tracks and good cover so that our events can go on regardless of the weather. Okay, we're going to come back and talk about that. Okay? It's like you just start me up too late. But if you start me up earlier, then we wouldn't have gotten everything here with Ras Bookie. So, anyhow, folks, thank you for listening to Reflections. And next Thursday, God willing, we'll be back here doing great things in our community, talking about being a part of the solution. Until then, be safe, have a great Easter celebration, and I'll see you next Thursday.